show him honor. He continues to respect him. Even when others were trying to dishonor Saul, David continued to do what? Respect him. Was he deserving of it? Probably not. He had inadequacies. He was trying to kill David. Yes, he was not of a good character. Nonetheless, David showed him the respect that is due to him and the respect that is due to his office. Yes, his name still was King Saul. That was still his name. That was still his title, rather. Yes, and so David, being wise, was respecting the office that Saul was still in. I want us to understand this afternoon that it is important that we respect the office that God has put people in. Yes, until it's time for God to move them. Our role is to respect them. Whether we think they have been doing a great job or not, we should respect them. You know, in Jamaica, many times we disrespect the Prime Minister and other leaders. We call them all sort of names and we say all negative things about them. Listen, it is God who still has them in that place of authority, and until God removes them, our role is to make sure that we are showing them honor. Yes, similarly in church, sometimes we hear negative things about different pastors, and what we do many times is disrespect them. Yes, we talk negatively about them. We start to talk bad things about them, and we start to incite all sort of division against those men of God. Listen to me. That is not our role. If you're going to build a culture of honor, you must still have that respect for that person. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Even if your father was not the father you intended, you wanted him to be, guess what? He's still your father. You don't get to choose your father. Your father begot you. You have been begotten by your father. Your father helped to bring you into the world. And even though they have not been there, listen, because you're a person of honor, you're still going to honor them. Remember, we said last week, I believe, honor your father and your mother, that it may be what? Well with you. That's our role, to honor them, to honor them, to honor them. Listen, to honor them. That is our role. And I know some of you, you know, you have been in bad situations. You have had an ill feelings against your father or your mother because of different things they would have done to you that would have hurt you. I want to speak a word to you this afternoon. Continue to honor them. Continue to show them respect. Yes, continue to show them respect. That's critical for us to understand. Remember, what you want is the blessing of God in your life. And you cannot afford to do anything that will block that blessing. So first thing, to create that culture of honor, listen, give honor to those who don't deserve it. Give honor even when you see people's inadequacies. Yes? That's very important. The second thing I want to say to you in creating a culture of honor is to make allowance for one another's fault. None of us is perfect. That's the beauty about church. That's the beauty about even any organization, that it brings together different people, different backgrounds, different perspectives, different socialization, and it brings them in one space in order to achieve one vision. In a room like that, people are going to make mistakes. In a room like that, you are going to see people's inadequacies. You are going to see people's faults. Yes, we have to make room. The Bible says that we should bear one another's burdens. That's what the Bible says. And I want us to understand right now that if you're going to develop a culture of honor, a culture of esteem, that we have to be at the place you will look beyond each other's faults. Yes, make allowance for each other's faults. The reality is we too are going to want people to make allowance for our faults. No, not because we have a fault. It doesn't mean that God is not using us. It doesn't mean that we're not worthy of respect. It just means that we have things to work on. Yes, you have some strengths. I have some strengths, you have some weaknesses, I have some weaknesses. The key is, how do we make all of that work? How do we love each other? How do we honor each other? How do we value each other? How do we recognize each other's worth, regardless of the faults that we're seeing? It can be done. One big thing I use is this, that I look at my own life. And if I give myself allowance, it means that I can give someone else allowance. Many of us are very drastic on ourselves. That's why we're so drastic on other people. Listen to me. We must give allowance for people's faults. We're here to help people to grow and develop. Remember, we are creating a culture of what? Honor. People want to know that you care before they hear that you care. They want to see it. Yes, and that's a big part of creating a culture of honor. The next thing I want to say to you very quickly to create a culture of honor is be the first and be quick to apologize. Be the first and be quick to apologize. Listen, when I'm wrong, my wife can tell you that I'm coming to apologize. Yes, those who know me well know that I will come to apologize. Sometimes it might take me a little while, but I still come to do it. Why? It shows that you value the person. It shows that you did them wrong, yes, and you are coming now to try and correct that wrong. It's a different thing when you have no idea that you did them wrong. And I want to say to somebody that you feel like someone has done you wrong. The person doesn't know. The onus is on you to go and say to that person, no, this is what you did, and I felt this way when this thing happened or when you said that. Listen, that creates a culture of honor. It shows that you value that person. It shows that you value, my God, that situation. Yes, and it's very important that you do that. So it's key that, we go and we say, hey, I am sorry I blew it. I am sorry I said this. I'm sorry I said this and it caused you to feel a particular way. It's okay to apologize so that forgiveness can take its toll. That's critical. The next thing I want to say to you when you're building a culture of honor is that we must have reverence for the senior pastor, his wife, or the CEO of a particular organization. We must have what? Reverence. Yes, we must show them deep respect. Very, very critical. Very critical. If you're going to have that culture of honor, we must show what? Reverence. We must show honor. We must show what? Respect. Very important, very important. Yeah, very important. My son, I have my 5-year-old, and my 5-year-old shows me honor. My 5-year-old shows me respect. Yes, when I tell him to go do this, or when I tell him do not do that, he goes, or he stops doing what he needs to stop. What is that showing? It is showing that honor, respect is in my house. It is the same thing. You want to make sure that that is in your house. You want to make sure that those who are leading you, that you are showing them respect. Listen, when you show them respect, they are going to want to invest in you. They are going to want to pray for you. They are going to want to make sure that you're okay. That is very important. The Bible says, God says, I will honor those who do what? Honor me. And I want us to make sure that we're doing that. Yeah. Remember, reverence is a special kind of respect. Yeah. So we have reverence for our fathers or our grandparents. We must have reverence for our senior pastors whom God has placed over our heads. Listen to me. I want you to check yourself right now. Have you really been respecting those whom God has placed over you? Or have you been disrespecting them by what you say behind their back, by what you do? You do things half-heartedly. You're not committed to doing what you said you would do. You're not keeping your word. You're not showing up to meetings on time, and in the meetings you are not being engaged. You're on your phone, you're on WhatsApp, you're on Facebook. Listen, that is not showing respect. And I'm telling you right now, a culture of honor is giving undivided attention to when your senior leaders are speaking. Very, very important. Yeah, very, very important. I also want to say to you as I wrap this up, yes, it's important that we also submit to one another based on gifting and not just position. Yeah, sometimes we only respect people because of the position that they have, but we must also respect them based on the gifts that we see operating in their lives. Remember, positions are for a time, but gifts always remain. And I want to say to you, respect people, love people, honor people, create that culture you want in your house. When you create that culture of honor in your house, you're going to be better able to operate that way at church, operate that way in your organization, and lives are going to be impacted. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming on and being a part of WAFIF Connect. Remember to meet us, WAFIF Clarendon, 9 a.m. Central High School on Sunday mornings. Join WAFIF HQ with Apostle Dr. Courtney McLean in our 6:45, 8:30, and 10:30 services. Remember, you are creating a culture of honor. God is going to be pleased, and your life is going to be elevated. God bless you. Until we meet again, have a great, great day.